Hi, welcome back to Crochet Creations by Christy and episode 17 already. Time is flying. Not only that, we ended a month and we started a new one in the last week. So my weekly episodes are including all of that went on last week. So that's going to be what I'm talking about today. So seeing I don't have any finished objects, well, I have a couple, but you've seen most of them, so I still want to do a video though. So, all right, well, today I put the coffee aside and I have a cherry Pepsi. I believe this is a zero something and it mostly tastes like cherry and cola. It's okay, but it's a little warm today because we're not used to it. It's like 50 degrees and it actually was snowing Friday morning when I went to work, so we're not used to it being this warm. In fact, I looked out and I saw that the lilac bushes are budded. They've got little green buds, or they have little green sprouts, and I was like, oh wow. Usually though, they get a frost before they get a chance to enjoy. We don't get to enjoy lilacs up on the hill as good as down in the valley. But anyway, I'm going to start out with the Facebook page, and as I go through each section that went on this week, I will show you something possibly that I had made to go with that. So Sunday morning is always D-Stash, Christy's Closet D-Stash day. Last week, we had 2 skeins of Bernat Softy Baby in the color Purple Rainbow. And that was picked this morning. And the winner was Elizabeth. And she hasn't sent me a message yet, but that's okay. She's not sure how. So if you're watching, Elizabeth, there's an email down how to contact me if you want that. The next D-Stash for next week is going to be this. Now, if you remember, I've gotten several mystery boxes. I like to do that. And so then I use some of the things in my mystery boxes for my D-Stash. So this is this week's D-Stash. There are 3 of these. They're called Orleans, Nevada. And I don't see a colorway on here, but they are rainbow colors. There's at least blue and green and yellow and pink throughout. There is a sparkle in here. These are 57% acrylic, 28% mohair, 12% wool, and 3% polyester. They are 88 yards in one of these little donuts, and there are 3 of them. Now, this is a D-Stash done on my Facebook page, so you need to be a member and find that weekly drawing is under the announcements tab with all the other things, or all the other shenanigans that are going on over there. You find them under the announcements. Okay, so that's the D-Stash for the week. Now, at the end of each month, I usually have something that ends, and then I start something new. Well, show and tell ended for the quarter. Show and tell is where you get to show whatever you're making, and it doesn't fall into a category that I've chosen for you. So if you have something that you want to show and you want to put it in a contest, show and tell is the one to do it. Last month, the winner was, I think it was Ravini. I don't remember now. It's not really important. There is a winner video that you can watch on the Facebook page to see who that was. My point today is that a new show and tell was put up. It's a quarterly. So this one, it will be April, May, and June. So 3 months. And the prize for that 3-month period will be drawn in June, and it'll be this Mary Maxim kit. It's a tote bag. You get all of the yarn to make this tote bag. You get the pattern to make the tote bag. And I don't believe there's any other pattern in here. This yarn is called Twisted. This is a blue, it's a jean yarn. It's not telling me. Okay, it's 100% premium acrylic, and each of these skeins has 218 yards in it, and you're going to get 3 of this color, which is a brown. I'm going to call that a brown. And then you're going to get 2 blues and 2 greens. So that's a nice prize. You don't have to make the tote bag, but that is the quarterly show and tell prize. So if you want to enter into that contest, that of course is on my Facebook page. The Facebook page is linked down below. Crochet Creations by Christy Makers Group. The next one, the next monthly drawing that I had was for hats, and more hats. And that one is a monthly hat thing I've been doing this year. I challenged myself to make a hat a week, and I expected 52 in the year. I may or may not hit that. But last month's drawing was drawn, and Heather won the hand-dyed hank last month. So the April post is up. So if you're ready to start posting hats for April, go on over to the Facebook page for that too. The skein of yarn I chose for the month of April is a tweed. This is gorgeous. It's called charcoal tweed, and it has all speckles or tweedy bits of all colors in it. Pinks, blues, yellow. It is a Loops and Threads yarn. It's made by Loops and Threads, and you can buy it at Michael's. This is a 4-ply medium, and it is 100% acrylic. And this one skein of this has, beats me. No, it's just the way they do this. It has 3 ounces, 186 yards in a skein, so it's plenty enough to make a hat with. That's the April winning prize for April for hats, and more hats. The next thing that I was working on at the end of the month was a Happy Scrappy Yarn Challenge. That was with Christy Cook from Tea Doddles, and we had a winner for her drawing because March was her month, and I decided I was going to give her give the same prize away that she gave away. And when I picked the winner, and I was on camera, it was legitimately, I had no idea again that I would know the name of the person, but I don't really know the people. I just didn't realize, the same way that happened with Charlene won. I didn't realize that it was Charlie. And when this person won, I was like, okay. So I announced the name and everything, and it turned out to be again, I can't remember her name. Let me check this one, because I know I wanted to say this so bad, because I was so shocked that I didn't know who it was until later on. I'm sorry. I really want to tell you. Angelia. It was Angelia from Little Xenia Patch, and I didn't put the two together at first, and then later on I'm talking to her and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Angelia. So anyway, that's how that worked, and she won the Happy Scrappy Yarn Challenge for my gift. So that led me to talk about the new month, and the new month for April I put up last week. The theme for it is new beginnings. So I had shown in the other video, which you can go and watch that, a sun suit made out of Amore. And so that's what I worked on last week in between episodes. And this sun suit was made out of one ball. I put some hippos on the button closure. It's very, very soft. And that was one of the things I made so far for the new beginnings theme. And then I decided to go ahead and do another lovey. And this lovey is a hippo. So I made the lovey part out of one of these DMC toppers, the little toppers, and it comes with the yarn in it and the head of the animal. So then you just use the ribbon and you attach it, and that way you can take them off to wash. But anyway, these are 100% acrylic, and what I usually do is I go ahead and I add a teething ring on one corner, and then I add a button closure on the other, and I unbutton it and put a pacifier on the other end. So that is what I was talking about when I said a useful, many uses out of the lovey. And then I decided to make a matching pair of booties for these because someone ordered them. And there they are, and they've got little hippos to match the hippo. So they are going to be shipped out tomorrow. Okay, so and I made the booties out of Line Brand 3 Light. It is in a blue. It's the pastel blue. This is 100% acrylic. I like this yarn. You can make 100 pairs. I swear. It just seems like it lasts a long time because there's quite a bit in this skein. Oh, it's not. I'm sorry. There is 60% acrylic, 40% nylon in this. That's probably why I like it so much, because of the nylon. 459 yards in one of these. So that was what the booties were made out of. And of course, I used the little plastic inserts to keep them shaped while I show it, and then I'll take them out after. Okay, so let me think about this a minute. I wrote down, I wanted to show you some of the hats that I was working on this week, but I did not have a finished one. So last week when Kim and I were talking, she was saying she started a hat, and she made two, and I asked her what pattern did you use, and she said she had a recipe. So I started one in the Everyday Premiere in Beach, and I think I showed that started last week. Premiere is one of my, well, it is my favorite yarn to make hats out of, as far as they just last. They're just really, really nice. So I started a knit hat in her recipe, and here it is in the Premiere Beach. Isn't that coming out nice? I probably would have had it done by now if I wasn't working on 7 or 8 projects at once, but that's okay, because that's what I like. I don't want to be bored, for sure. So that is, I believe, I put it up on the hats and more hats post, because every time I make a hat, I put up what I did. So that recipe is up already. You can find it on that post. So if you're going to make hats and you want to make one, glance at that post. And then to go along with that, hats and more hats, I said I was going to make a orange hat out of the Stitch Studio that I'm making the scarf with. Now this scarf, I don't think I showed the scarf in a couple weeks. And so I'm going to show it now. It's a knit pattern, and I've been working on it for several weeks. It's one of the very first knits that I started. And the actual pattern is twisted. Oh no, it's the same on both sides. That's right. Okay, so last time you saw it, I was here. And I've worked on it a little bit. In fact, I'm almost done with this skein. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to make my own hat design to match this scarf. See the pattern on the scarf? I said, this is going to be easy. So what I did was I started it yesterday. And not in that bag. Started it out of the same yarn. And I started it with the same size needles. And I did 2x2 rib. I cast on 60 stitches. And then I did 7 rows of the ribbing, and now I've started into the pattern. You can't quite tell yet. Let's turn it this way. Can't quite tell yet that it's going to be exactly like the scarf pattern, but it is, because that's exactly the stitch that I'm doing right there. It's 2 knits, knit 1 in the back, knit 2, knit 1 in the back loop, and then purl 1. That's the pattern in those 4 stitches. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that it's going to look like that and match it. It should. But anyway, that's that the pattern that I made up for to match that. So the other things I wanted to talk about today, back to the Happy Scrappy Yarn Challenge. I wanted to show you the blanket real quick. This is the gift for April. This is the prize that'll be given out for April. And so if you want to join that, there is a post down for that Facebook page itself. It's its own Facebook page. It's co-hosted with Christy Cook. So we are on our new theme for the month of April, which is New Beginnings. Now, the last couple things I wanted to talk about were, first of all, this podcast is so close. I think I'm 10 or 11 away from 400 subs. Yeah. So, I want to real quick talk about that. 400 sub giveaway box, which is this one that I have been filling up. There's a couple things in here. There is a book from Knit Crate. There is a tea bag from Knit Crate. There is a Yarn Bee skein of Fair Isle. There is a bag of ice yarns. There is also a set of stitch markers that are handmade from Debbie Murray. They're beautiful. If you want to see those items closer, each one of my videos that I put one in, you can, but I'm not going to show them all today. But I am going to do is I'm going to add a thing. I'm going to add something more to this box today. And what I'm going to add is 2 skeins of willow wheels. The willow wheels look like that. These are cakes. These come from Willow, and that's the sister company from Hirschner's. The cakes are 70% acrylic and 30% wool. There'll be 2 of them going into the 400 subscriber box. This colorway is called Pansy. Looks like a pansy to me. And they each have 377 yards. And they are, I believe, a 3. Yes, they are a 3. So there's going to be 2 of these added. Now, today is the day that you will leave your comment to try and win the 400 subscriber box. And the key word I'll be looking for is pansy. So that's the secret giveaway in today's video, because I don't put it in the title. Okay, so now the last thing I want to talk about today is the live with Kim from the Crafty Nomad. We went live twice now. We had a hat not hate crochet along, and then we had our first hook and stitch live with Kim and Chris, and that went over real well. So our next episode will be next Saturday, April 11th. It'll be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And it will always be, the live will always be on Kim's channel. And then we have a crochet along that just started. It's called What Time Is Lit? And it is involving a pattern by Johanna Lindahl, and she wrote the Lost in Time shawl. It is absolutely amazing shawl. It is so much fun. You can do a different color every row if you want to. You can use a cake and just let the colors flow. But we figured that we would get together on the live and we would talk about our kale together. And then if anyone had any questions or anything, you could ask us on the live. But to enter into that kale, you will go to my Facebook page, find the announcement for the What Time Is Lit kale, and post your progress, because I'm going to be taking winners out of the progress photographs that are in that, and you don't know when. Exactly. What time is lit? What time am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? Nobody knows. It's all a mystery. So that is the last project I want to show you, because I started mine. Some of you have already seen it, I'm sure, because I posted. This basket is full of the vintage collection from Hirschner's. It's all of the colors. There are 8 of them. I have the romance, the cream, the rust, and the maroonish color, the 2 greens, and the 2 blues. And they're just muted enough that I just love these colors. And this is a 2-ply. It's 100% acrylic, but it's 2-ply, and it has a little bit of halo, which is right down my wheelhouse too. So what I did was I decided I was going to do color control. So I have 8 colors to play with. And after I started out, I realized that I didn't want each section to have 8 colors and then the exact same 8 colors. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to remember to change it up. But for right now, I started out with the cream, and then I did the 2 blues, but I only did this blue 1 row. Some of the rows I decided to do 2 rows in a section in a color, and then other rows I did just 1. That way it would break it up and nothing's going to be the same. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is every time there's a row where there's bobbles, I'm going to make sure I never do a row of bobbles in the same color. So right now I have a row of maroon bobbles and a row of turquoise bobbles. So until I use 8 colors of bobbles, I will never repeat those. And that way, when you look at my shawl, it'll never have the same repeat. So that's my I think I'm on 14. Yeah. Row 14, 1 through 14. And this is a 2-ply, so it's pretty small. But I figure I'll just keep going until I run out of yarn, right? Well, there is a border, so okay, so I won't go that far. I hope everybody's having a nice weekend. And I hope you enjoyed my video, and like and share and all that happy horse, you know what. And baby horse hasn't been born yet, by the way, but we did have one up the road. Yeah, she had one this morning up the road, and it's up the road far enough that I haven't seen it, and I probably won't. But that's because she's got videos. So have a great week, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.